So here we have question number 8 from homework 15, and there are a few steps here to solving this question, but it's not terribly complicated, honestly. It's something that you've done before. The only difference is that we're looking at functions that have e to the x now. So you've done this question for other functions in the past. So let's start with part A. Part A, they're saying to find the revenue function r, and r of x is just p times x. Well, they're giving us p. P is this 124 times, let me make that a little bit bigger. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. 124 times e to the negative 0.0002x. So they're just saying to multiply that times x to get the revenue function. So I'll do that. If r of x equals p times x, I'm just going to multiply this times x. And to make it look a little bit cleaner so I don't have that x floating over there, I'm just going to bring that x in. So when I finally write it out, I'm going to get that the revenue function is 124x e to the negative 0.0002x. Okay? So that's it. We just multiplied what they gave us times x. That's not too tricky. Part B, we need to take the derivative of what we just found for this r of x. So I'm going to rewrite it, and when we take this derivative, now that we've got this e here, sometimes that throws people off, but really what we have are two functions. I've got 124 times x, and I've got e to the negative 0.0002x. So if I'm multiplying two functions together, I use the product rule. And to do that, I just do the first times the derivative of the second, and that's the derivative here. I just copied this down exactly and then took the derivative of the exponent. That's how we do the exponent of e when it's raised to a function, plus the second function, so that's this here, times the derivative of the first, which is just 124. And we can simplify that. You can actually factor out 124 and the e to that power from both sides of this, which is going to leave you with this guy here, and then I kind of rewrote it just to get the 1 in front so I wasn't starting with a negative. You don't have to rewrite it. This here is actually good enough. Actually, this here is good enough, but think about what you want to be plugging into your calculator. Do you want to plug in all of this stuff with all of the parentheses, or would you rather be able to do it with fewer parentheses? Okay, so for part C, we just have to plug in this case 10, because they're asking us for the marginal revenue when x equals 10. Well, when I plugged in 10 into my derivative, I got this value. So basically you're just taking whatever you found in step B and plugging in whatever number they give you. So I have 124 times e to the negative, this guy up here, minus 1, or times 1 minus 0.0002 times 10. I'm just plugging in 10 everywhere there was an x, plugging it into my calculator, rounding, and I get the answer that I'm looking for. So also make sure when you're plugging this into your calculator that when you're raising e to an exponent and you're multiplying in that exponent, put an extra pair of parentheses around it in your calculator, and that will keep the multiplication correct. A lot of mistakes I've seen lately are people who are entering e and then they're putting in this and then putting this in parentheses, and it's not multiplying correctly. So make sure you put a whole nother set of parentheses around that. Okay, shoot me an email if you've got any questions.